Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Monday lighting critique. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We are going to start off with, we've got a few video submissions. Then we'll go through some stills. As I announced earlier, I am starting today at Adobe, working with the Substance Painter team. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited for what that means for you all, because it means that I will be able to hopefully provide you guys with some more insights, some more opportunities, and just some more support on the substance side of things. Like I said, I've been focused on lighting so far in my career, and this is more the shading, look dev stuff. But yeah, and the one thing that really stood out to me from them was when I was talking to them, they talked about how they wanted to democratize the 3D process and make that available to more people around the world and more industries. So they do a lot of work with like fashion design and branding companies and package design and these kind of things. And it's kind of like what I've always felt about what we do. I think it should be more available to more people. And so hopefully that spirit aligns between us. And so I'm excited for that. Okay, I want to start off with Hisham here. So we've got, we're going to look at his demo reel, and then he's got still, which we'll look at later. But I did want to start here because this is interesting. So we've got the animation of the rain is nice. Actually, this is a good example of how these are still renders, but he added some like small components to make them feel a little more dynamic and alive. That works out pretty well. I actually think that they could be a little bit longer, like especially like this one's good. That one feels like it almost could be like one beat longer. Like I don't know if those are the same duration, but I think that's that. This shot, I think, overall I think your work looks good. I think this shot looks great. Yeah, I think that's enough of it playing through before we get into the breakdown. I would take down. There was one shift in here that I saw. I'm trying to think. Step through it. So we got that wipe. There's like a, yeah, it was, I would combine these two, like these two color corrections in the shirt. Like you brighten or it looks like you darken the shirt down overall and then lifted the shadow. I would do that in one color adjustment. I would just do like this one versus the last one, because when you break it down too small, you kind of like, I think it could just be like, it could be just like shirt correction, and that would be that. I like this titling in the margins. I think that works out well, and especially if you have an accompanying breakdown sheet with more info, I think that's really good. One thing, modeling only has one L in it. This is really cool. I like this guy. I'm wondering if on those two, if it would be valid, and you can correct me if not, if it's valid to have some reference images in the shot too. Like there's some space over here where you could put something up there in the corner. If it depends, I can't remember how accurately this matched reference or not. The only thing about this one is I feel like the sky outside here should be a little bit brighter, but it's just me. This one, the one thing about this chair that's interesting is that this part of the arm stays bright kind of throughout. You just kind of watch that. Like even when the sun is on the opposite side, and like that would kind of raise some alarm bells for me if I was looking at this from like a look dev standpoint. So I would look into that and figure out what's causing that and possibly tone that down a little bit. This one had some, it almost looks like noise underneath here. Watch right in there. Actually, in a few places, now that I watch it, it's more like the potted pan. It might just be the what you're using to circle around. Yeah, it makes some flickering aberration. So I would almost maybe simplify your HDRI map into something so it doesn't quite cause that, because that looks like render artifacts that you don't want. This is nice. I like this a lot. I almost think we don't need that side-to-side move. This one's nice. This one feels like we're zoomed in too much. Now the pixels, now the render's starting to look low res. But overall, I think this is really, really strong. I think your work is really good. You mentioned whether or not you have enough diverse stuff on here. I think you do. I would just add one more. If you had one more animated character shot like this one, I think you'd be good, because like you have, or another iteration of this with different lighting, because you have a couple different lighting here, like lighting scenarios here. And although this is good character lighting, the characters aren't like super front and center the way that she is. You know what I mean? Like we're not like doing the eye stuff. We're not doing all the little things. So, I mean, we have some shots in the animated shots channel that you can grab. But I think that would be your next thing. And it's not like I would tell you to stop and don't submit, because you absolutely need that before you can continue. But I think that it's just the next thing you should work on to make your work stronger. All right, K. So this looks really cool, right? Like this light going crazy down here is this super emotional, like it's triggering me as being like, oh, like it's definitely a nerve-wracking thing. I love the glow on the monster. I love the drips of the coming down the lens. I think the drips feel like, this is gonna sound so silly. The drips feel a little bit flat. Like it feels like I would expect there to be like maybe some more darkening from it in the middle, and like, because it just kind of comes down like a broad sheet, and I'd have to look at drips on a camera lens. It just doesn't quite feel right to me. But the bigger thing is the sharpness of the shadow inside the mouth. Like this is like razor sharp. And I know you're probably trying to communicate a smaller light source, but even like a flashlight has like those weird aberrations in it from light kind of refracting around. And so I think that you could really reduce. I think you can increase the radius of that light and perhaps break that up, and that would soften those shadows a little bit. Like I again, relatively speaking to the size of the monster, I think the light could still, like, we can still see it. It's just the fact that there is kind of like almost no softening on the edge of that we want to alleviate, especially because it looks like you know there's a flashlight type light that kind of flying around in there that's separate from that stuff, and that's the small light source, not the overall thing. So that would be my big one. And then this area gets a little bit bright on some of these frames. But again, overall, super, super, super cool stuff. All right. Let's hop over into Keven, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, weird. Okay. So we've got this interior one. So this render is nice and clean. There's a small amount of noise right here at the top before she opens the door. I would, there's a trick that you can do in Nuke where you can just draw a roto around something, and then you can lock that frame. I think it's
frame holds.
Frame hold. Thank you, whoever said that.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm
Perfect.
also trying to get a better render out. I made mistakes on this one with trying to get the noise render out of it. So hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have a more denoise cleaner version.
That's fine. I mean, the noise is pretty.
It's subtle, but it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, but it's pretty good. Like, knowing this scene, this isn't as bad as yeah. But yeah, the frame hold would work back there. Thank you for reminding me of that. I was gonna say frame freeze, but like that didn't feel right. All right, cool. And then yeah, in terms of
the other video was just the full 3 frames that I put it together just to kind of show how it flows, because I keep doing that for myself.
Yeah, and that's great, because like I think because you want to see, because it's such a drastic difference between what she's seeing outside versus what's going on inside, that it's like you like, because if you're just working inside here, you can get lost in it a little bit and you lose track of it. But I think together it works really, really well, because like the brightness that's tying in here, the brightness that's tying in there is tying in all of it, right? Like, because it helps tie in that outside space inside. And then the only thing I was looking at right when this fired up, and I probably missed this the last time we were doing it, or the last when we were doing this, is just like her teeth could just be a little bit brighter.
Okay.
They feel a little gray in there. But like this, the lighting here looks good. The lighting through here looks good. Yeah, and other than, like I said, just cleaning up those minor things, I don't really see anything I would really adjust on this one.
Sweet. I'm like ready to move on.
Good.
120 frames.
All right. Let's go ahead and clap it up then. All right, here we go. Let's let Kevin move on. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
No problem. I am ready to be done is a sign that we are going to move on to the next thing. That's cool. No, it looks great. Like I said, when it's so hard. When you create something, you think you're like, this is going to be really set up well for lighting. And this shot in particular is very, very difficult. I remember when I was in it, I was like, oh man, this is it was a little harder than I was anticipating. And
I learned a lot.
Yeah, especially these characters. So it's good. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
If you can do this, you can do a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the whole reel once it's done because I've already gone this far. But yeah.
Cool. All right, great. Let's go through some of us that are here, and then we will circle back on some of the other ones. All right, Andre, previous version, and this is the update. So we got darker on the outside again. That's good. Her skin is looking better. It's just this will be a time where we'll want to add a little more specularity to her skin. She feels a little clay, and then her eyes can go a little bit brighter. Especially this one can go brighter.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll actually his eyes feel pretty okay. The only thing is, like, inside his eyes almost feel like they're completely desaturated, like it's a black and white image. I'm almost wondering if we couldn't get maybe a little of the red reflection in there or something to kind of, or maybe just tone down the contrast in there a little bit.
Okay.
But the main area, I still think that we can do some work on this tree, and I think one of two things is happening. Either the lights are shining too bright or there's just too many of them, because I'd like to see some opportunities for it to go darker between the lights. Like, because like right now, as I look between them, like this green illuminates to here, the red illuminates, the yellow illuminates. They all kind of like are bright together, and I want some opportunities for it to go into the darkness between them.
Okay.
But that would be my big 3 or so.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, Brenda, I saw was here too. Brenda, hi, how you doing?
Hi, good, and you?
Good. All right. Love the attic scene. I think this is going really well. Couple things that so I know that in this scene by default this lamp is on. I always say, because if we're doing this during the daytime, it kind of just like all starts to get bright because of that. I would say either tone down the light that's coming in from outside and make that a stronger light source, or we can tone that down. And I think we could still read the flowers on the table as like a story point. So I think it would just be like a matter of one or two, but having like bright light coming in from the outside and a bright lamp inside doesn't give us enough opportunity for like light to dark fall off. And again, it's tricky because the default shaders are just a glowing light that's already on. So, and the other big thing for me is the direction of the light is coming in through this window, right? Like we're coming in and we're hitting down here, but there's a lot of light that's coming back at the window, like all this light in here, that's causing this shadow here, and that feels extra strong to me. Okay. So I would tone down. I'm not quite sure what's causing that, but like I would.
It's another light I put there because I thought that there was not enough like shaping on some things.
Oh, I see.
And I color liked because I thought it was really dark, but
Yeah.
I can totally tone that down.
Let's tone that down. And the other thing would be, when you have lights like that, you really want them to be softer. So you don't want them to be casting like these tight shadows, because in reality, if it is coming from anywhere, if it's not a light source, then it's coming from this bounce area, which is really, really large relative to the room, right? Which would just kind of create softer shadows around.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main bit of it. I mean, and then like, yeah, because once we do that, I think it'll start to kind of help us define two things, like the room, and more importantly, like our focus on a specific spot. Like, because if we're coming in here, also like the haze is nice. It's a little bit too strong overall, because it's just like like we're in a. This type of thing would be good if we're like in a mountainy like landscape, but we're in a really tight space, and usually you don't see that much atmospheric buildup in that tight of a window.
Okay.
But yeah, this is looking good. Otherwise, I like the flower theme on the paintings and the artwork around the room. I think that's really nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work
Great.
on that.
Cool, great. Cleber, you
Thanks.
just popped in the nick of time. How you doing, man?
Hello.
Hello.
Very well, and you?
I'm good. Long time no see. I thought that maybe you ran off with this project elsewhere. I'm glad to have you back with it. It's very cool.
Thank you.
So my initial thought on this was, I think, like, and again, like similar to what we were just seeing in the last one, I think the haze might be a little bit too strong overall, just because it's kind of polluting the bear a little bit now. And normally, oftentimes, I will try and keep that stuff like off the main character, because it just lowers the contrast and allows them to kind of fall into obscurity a little bit. So I think he's close enough to the camera where we could just allow that to kind of like we just push it back behind him. In terms of and then what you saw, what I just did when I was just kind of playing there with the levels, is I think that overall we can go brighter. Not only in the brights, but I think the midtones can come up a little bit, because I was seeing some of these shadow areas were looking like really kind of dark and crunchy. And then I'm wondering, and this is, I know you've got art direction on this, but I was wondering if it might be possible to shift away from the blue greens a little bit. And more, it's just to kind of read more of the warmth of the character off of the cool environment, because I think that contrast could really pop.
Your eyes are ninja.
That's very sweet. No, I've just done this too long. I think that, yeah, and then I'm wondering if there's a way to open up the gobo a little bit more on the character. And like I know this is all animated, and I know he's running around a lot, but actually maybe not. We'll see how it plays out in the other parts of the sequence. But I just kind of want to feel a little bit more of that sunlight on him. I love how you're goboing and getting some darkness here in the foreground, and kind of allowing us to focus in on him there. I love this shape kind of framing him. But yeah, that would be my main notes for now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're
will
welcome, man.
do review.
All right. Let's see. Keven, we got Kat. I think you are up next. Brenda. Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay.
I played with textures yesterday.
Oh, yes. So you submitted these really nice reference images, and they're beautiful in their complementary colors, like the warmth of this and the blue green of that, and like just like the diffused reflections and everything, and these like specular highlights. and the way it just kind of runs all around, it just creates like so much cool shaping. I think that's really nice, and I think that creates a unique space, because again, this because in my head when I first looked at yours in this piece, I was like, oh, this is an industrial space, it's going to be dirty, gritty, tough, and then I remembered it's not 1934, like we're in the year 2020. Like factories don't work like that anymore. They are very clean, they are very sanitary, they are very nice now.
And it's also not like abandoned. It's kind of more like a chemical plant versus like a warehouse.
Totally.
So I think that's part of the reason I'm kind of going this way.
Totally, yeah. So this helped me get some clarity on this a lot. So I think like getting this type of look is good. And like if we want to play this up, it's really about, again, getting that warm versus cool light coming in. Did you want to continue? Did you want to play up some outside light on this?
Yeah, I'm still wanting to, because I think although the images I submitted it seems like they have sunlight coming in.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm kind of, if you go back to the references, the blue light, I'm trying to decide if that's just white light reflecting off the metal or if it's a blue light, because it's kind of hard to tell if that's just it's looking blue because of the reflection.
Yeah, the white balance. I think that so like in this shot, there's
less blue in that one.
Yeah, all of this is exterior light coming in from this way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then all the warm is tungsten artificial man-made light.
Okay.
This one I think is the same thing. Although
because there is the sun coming in the back, but
I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on in this photo. I think
it's hard to tell in big spaces.
Yeah, because that is the sun and that is the sky out there. I guess, I guess that's what you would see. But this one just feels like the saturation has been cranked in post a little bit.
Possibly, yeah. It's always hard to tell with these now. It's like, is this,
Yeah. These feel.
That looks more real.
Yeah, this feels more. I would say base it more on these.
Okay.
But I do like the idea. So yeah, I would say let's push in some of that exterior light. The one thing I was looking at with the shaders is I would go either gritty or clean with everything. I would say, we've got things like this kind of noise on these back here, and these are super clean. Go one way or the other, and then kind of bring it all together. Either it's dusty in there or it isn't.
Right.
And then
I was just trying to get some of the metallic reflections that you see, because like in this one with the pipes in the back, I think that those shaders look decent. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that I
was just kind of trying different things because I'm like, I don't know how much you. And with you wanted to focus on the characters, I don't want to make everything super shiny in the background either.
No, because
I don't want to
this is more like a brush, like very brushed, diffused reflections.
Right.
So I think the specular is good. It's just we're just not seeing enough reflection of the surrounding space a little bit. So
okay.
I think that'll come in a little bit more when you add some of that outside light and stuff. And then I'm not worried about the characters right now. We'll get to it later, but like we'll see how they fit in. Cuz she got green on me. Her skin got greener than I remember.
Well, I changed the light above them to the blue light because I was trying to see how the blue would work, so that might make her look. I mean, her outfit's supposed to be green, but it might make her skin tone look more green too.
More her skin, on this one. But like, let's we'll worry about that later. So keep like pushing that outside light and just see if we can. And let's use this as our kind of main reference point. Now, if you want to go like a little darker overall than this,
okay.
That's totally fine. And then like however you want to do that. But I think I think that this is a really nice, like that one feels
kind of
right.
vibe. Okay.
Cool.
And then I brightened up the badge. I just kind of made it more like reflective and metallic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it stands out a bit better? Because we were talking about that last time.
The badge.
So I was trying to. Because yeah, it's kind of a little shinier.
Yeah, let's take a
It's
look at
just
that
not-
in motion down the road. I think
cool.
that'll probably. Yeah, we'll see how the lighting on the room looks, and then we might have to adjust it to just so it's always like complementing what's going on around it.
Okay, cool.
All right. Now I want to check something because Kay, I saw you pop in. Yeah. Oh no, we did. We looked at yours a little while ago. So yes. So we'll just check the recording on this in a little bit. Sorry. I was like I knew we had something for you there. Okay. Anybody else that is live that hasn't had their work checked out yet? If not, I'll go through some of these other ones, but please speak up. Okay. Alfredo. So, big difference between I think the fill value. So I usually don't like, stick too close to reference. I usually just say it's a good starting point. But for this one, I think that the amount of fill light that we're getting in these shadow areas is kind of really changing the mood of it overall. And I'm wondering if getting a fill value that's more colorful and a little bit lifted will help soften the mood overall in the room. Because I'm looking at this like key to fill ratio between the light on the ground and the shadow, and it's very different than what we're seeing here. And if you're choosing to go a different way with it, that's fine. That's just my thought. I would try and it's gonna be tough to do, I think, but weird. Yeah. But it would be something more. Ugh, this isn't great, but something, and then shift it back towards the blues. Something more, just kind of like fill. That didn't work out at all. It's weird. Something more filled in the shadows than what we were seeing before. But because I think that, and that will allow, like, if you put some dark shapes on the characters, like her dark hair, maybe his dark eyes, his dark silhouette, those dark values will really pop us into the center a little bit more. Yeah. And yeah, I'll keep it at that. I was going to say, I think we can abstract the background a little bit more. But I think it's good. I think we can stick with that for now. All right, cool. Okay, Andre. Ayako. So previous version, this is the update. A little more punch. A little darker on those buildings in the background. I think maybe those got a touch too dark. I think bring them back maybe like 20%. Just because like these have some nice definition in them, and then when they darken, they kind of flatten out a little bit. So just maintaining a little bit more of that. This is much better over here. This looks really nice. Maybe try getting a little bit of speck or something in the plant here just to get a little variation in that. But I think everything else is looking pretty good. I'm just going to play with this for just a second. I'm wondering if we shouldn't desaturate that just a touch. It's a bit too much. I think just pulling up, because like that orange is getting a little bit super saturated. I think just pulling off of that just a little bit will help it out a little bit. I think desaturate. Yeah, let's desaturate that just a touch too. But everything else is really, really strong. All right, Hisham. I think so. We saw this in the demo reel. I thought it actually played up really well. I think the reflection in the light looked good. Yeah. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this? I think this looks really good. Yeah. I think we'll go ahead and clap for this one, if that's all right with you guys. All right. Good job, man. All right, Rick. Filed under J, because one time I called you Jedi Rick, and now that's like forever, because you're a Rick filed under J. Yeah, I think the next big step for you with this is to take a look at some of the shaders. A couple of big ones would be the pool. And actually somebody else was doing this and they found a really nice, if you're using Arnold has a nice default water shader that you can work with and kind of get that to be more pool-like. Because right now it's just feeling a little bit solid. It's not quite feeling like that refraction-y, swimming pool-y kind of feel. So there's that one. And then I would also work on making this more like, I think it's called vellum, or the material that they use to make that stuff with. Maybe that's, mylar or whatever that is. It's not like, it's almost like a balloon, in that it's super kind of reflective, and you can just almost feel it's like that thick plastic. And where this one isn't really, it's more of a matte finish, and I think we need to get more of that specularity in there too. And then the third thing that I would do is I would find an environment for this, something outside these windows to fill in that black and just comp it in. Again, I know it sounds silly, but having that be super black out there, it messes with our perception of the space. It messes with our read on how, because I feel like these are the right level of brightness right here, but it totally depends on what's going on outside. And so just like getting that balance in there would be really, really good. And then, all right, and now we're gonna move on to Jeff's. So Jeff, for everyone working on the Ruby scene and looking at it from the outside, I thought this was a really, really smart solution. Something that I have not thought of yet that I think is working really well. And that is adding some gobo of like a tree with some leaves on it to this outside on the wall. I think it looks really nice. I think it really kind of helps vignette and center us in and break that up a little bit, and kind of keep our attention off what's going on around the characters. So really, really, really good concept there and really good execution there. In terms of the character lighting, I'm cool with this lamp being on. That's fine. I want to kill its influence a little faster to allow this part of the room to go darker, to allow like the characters to kind of stand off over that darker background. I do think that she can feel a little more key hit, whether that's in the diffuse or specular values. I just want to feel her get a little bit brighter, from just like from that interior light a little bit. Just because I know like theoretically it won't make much sense if that's dying off faster and hitting her harder, but I just kind of want to see more shaping on her. And then I would consider making this a little bit of a darker color too. Like again, doesn't need to be shadow, just like a dark, like imagine a darker paint there. And then on the back side of this cushion, it seems like it's getting light from this way. I would just allow that area to go a little bit darker. Same thing with this one. Just allow those the backs of those pillows just to get a little bit darker. Water drop refractions look really good. Their scale seems really big. I would maybe bring down the size of those droplets. Are those raindrops? Well, we'll find out. I mean, it's either raindrops. I was reading it as water on the window, like drips. But it looks like they're raindrops, and that means that this shutter is extraordinarily fast to catch raindrops like that. So I think Hisham kind of has it here, where like in a photograph, rain reads more like this normally, where it's like a streak, and you don't actually see the individual droplets. So I would consider streaking those a little bit.
I think it's supposed to be on the window.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying that, and then I saw them down here, and I guess that means they're on the flowers. So yeah, I think they're just a little big. I think they're just like a little bit too big of droplets. I would just take them down a little bit. Yeah. All right, thank you guys, because I was like, there's something about them being down here too that made it feel like it was everywhere. Okay, you guys are right as always. All right, and then yeah. So yeah, like this level of scale on these are pretty small, and they feel bigger here, but that's like we're super close to it. But like in even that, you've got these smaller dots there. So yeah. All right, Stephanie. All right. It's the previous version. This is the update. Yeah, this looks good. Only comments, I would take this down just a touch, just a little bit, like 10%, and then make the eye dings a little bit bigger. They're a little small. But other than that, I think it's looking really good. All right, cool. Well, I know I kind of I was moving a little quickly there, so I wanted to kind of open it up to see if anybody has any questions or if there are any comments on any of the work. I will try not to do it that quickly. Like I said, I had a hard out at 12 today, and so I wanted to make sure I got everything in time. But
Mike.
Yes, Ruby.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry.
Good to see you.
I have a question. So my render didn't finish.
Okay.
So I just put like a screenshot of what I have to see if you can maybe have some comments on the eye. And also, I'm getting like every time I render, I'm getting like weird white dots like all over the screen.
You're getting white dots all over the screen?
Yeah, well, like random parts. Like I think I left some in this one, and they're like kind of by the girl, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty small, huh?
Yeah. What is this? What is this mode? Okay, sorry, hold on. I did something to my screen here. Weird.
I've never seen that before.
This is a new one. Can I exit? Wait, let me go. Weird. I'm like super zoomed in. Hi. Wait, let me. Oh, wait. Nope. I think I know. Am I in some sort of precision mode on my Wacom? This is wacky. I don't like this at all. Whoa. All right. We're going to.
Sorry about that.
No, it's totally not your fault. This is like. Wow. Maybe if I hit the minus button. What? Who would want this? All right. Man. Oh, now I made a mistake. Here we go. Let's go back to yours. Sorry. It's so funny. This is such a stupid mode.
We're gonna get macro shots of every single picture.
Apparently. My goodness. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna stay here for a second. No, it's funny because I think it's like, I don't know what the hell.
I'm checking Google. Try press the Windows key and ask.
Windows key and which button? Oh,
and
asterisk.
ask. Is what? Windows and ask? I'm checking here.
Weird.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I am.
I hope you can get out of this before noon.
I know. I will. I got a laptop too. There we go. This is so funny. What? Who? Like I said, in what earthly world would anybody want to work this way? Okay. We're just gonna talk about the eyes, and then I'll figure this out.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So I think. So for her eyes, man, it's small now. I think putting that along, like just pushing it a little bit more towards the upper screen left side. And then for his eyes, what do you guys think of the color? Maybe the warmth isn't.
Yeah, I think the warm tone is kind of making it look like it's like an old glass,
Yeah.
like a dusty stained or something.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't. I'm sorry, Ruby. I think we keep making you run around in circles here. I think that might not be the best way to go because it makes it feel like sepia tone stained, and kind of strange. So let's tone that down a little bit. I'm just wondering if we should go back to being more neutral or perhaps make it like a blue color or something like different.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would play around with that a little bit and just maybe give a couple iterations tomorrow or the next day, and we'll take a look. As far as the white dots, that just feels like render artifacting or render noise, and I'm not quite sure why that would all of a sudden creep up. I've seen
Because every time I do a render, it goes like in different places.
Yeah.
And I went like super far on the sampling, and I'm still getting those. So I don't know what to do.
Okay, maybe try restarting your session. It might just be like something bad in your cache. But if that keeps happening, take a screenshot or two, and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that kind of problem when on the girl's portrait, the black and white portrait, because there was a bounce card that I put that was not visible, but it was in front of the camera, and that made it, I don't know why, but made like fireflies all over the place.
Usually caused by something that's too shiny in the scene with a very bright light. I don't know what that would be here. Maybe the little thing on top of the robot's head, but you should check out like each light and see if it disappears on a particular light when you turn it off.
Yeah, because I did that with like every light, like you're saying, like I separated one, and I didn't get anything. It was just till I do like the final render that I start seeing them around.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, there's another thing you can try. I will post it, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't encountered that yet. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
All right, cool. All right, well, great work today, everybody. Did you ever do something like that? And I feel like such a stupid sense of satisfaction that I was able to get out of it. And Cleber, you were right about that. I was hitting the wrong. I basically have like an alternate escape on my keyboard, and I have two of them, and I was just hitting the wrong one. So you were right on that.
Right.
What a stupid thing for people like who. It's like, hey, do you ever want to go in really close and see nothing else? No, I don't want to do that ever again.
I will send a link that I found how you can disable permanently.
Oh, I think it's just buy a Mac, right? I think that's the solution. Is that would that be it? All right. No,
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Please
unless
send that over because I don't want to do that again. If I have to like give a presentation to a company and then go in like that, it would feel silly. All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. Thank you all today. I will talk to you all very soon. I'll see you back again tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
take care, guys.
you. Congrats.
Thanks again.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.